Hi friends, welcome to Victor's Reality. In today's video, we'll be playing some HDR games with the new Aorus AD27QD monitor. So as you can see here, we have the HD color settings on HDR. We also have here in the NVIDIA control panel, 120 Hz. G-Sync is on. Recommended Blur Busters settings, and let's just go see the color settings. Let's go, it's 10-bit full, everything's good to go. Just hit apply just to be safe, make sure everything is on. So that's good. 120 Hertz. Now let's go see on the monitor itself. Freesync on, HDR on, and we are good to go. Here with the brightness, I always have it on standard, 100% brightness, 80% contrast. Again, you know, 11, I put 11 just because anything above 11 is, to me, you know, too much. But this is the colors I like. You know, you can do whatever you want with your colors, and everything else is, you know, standard. Everything's a normal. Yeah, let's see if any games give us trouble. I have some stuff here. Let's play Mass Effect, as that is a HDR compatible game. Now I'm here showing you. Let's go to, I had it black screened because I had set this to off. I had everything on SDR, and this video was for HDR, so I just wanted to show everyone, you know. Let's change it to 120 just so it doesn't, you know, go over. Is it unlocked? No, can't do that. Yeah, let's go to 120. Let's go to auto detect. Let's hit back to save it. It's recording right now, the audio. Yes, okay. So HDR is on right away. The colors, everything darkens a bit. As you can see, look at HDR 10. Okay, let's remove the triple buffering. We don't want that. And let's go to graphics. I don't want that. Film grain, ultra. Okay, so everything is on HDR. Let's just double check here. Yes. Okay. So we'll just quick start it. There it is. Okay, so I have it on color 12 right now, as anything higher to me is just too much color and it looks fake. It's like a whole bunch of crayons all over the screen. So this looks good to me. That red looks really nice. All right, let's see here. Let's see what this HDR can bring us on this Aorus monitor. Let's see. Let's go. Piercing white brightness in the middle. It's piercing. You can see it on screen. I'm looking at the camera at the same time while I'm playing this, just to try to capture what I'm exactly seeing. So in case I don't play well, I'm looking at the camera while I'm playing. This is recorded in 4K to give you guys the best quality. Now the phone is not the best, but this is to get the best quality so you guys can get the, you know, the best picture. This is at 30, you know, the camera's at 30 Hertz, 30 frames, so this game is running over 100. So you won't be able to see the fluidity of it, but the main thing is here to see the picture quality. And if this passes your test, then you're good to go to get the monitor. You can also change the black equalizer to go lower if you choose to. Let's see here. Too. Okay, so right here, everything looks nice and dark, color pop, everything looks good. I like what I'm seeing. It looks exactly what I'm showing you on the monitor. Please, again, forget about this glow right there that I'm seeing. I don't see that when I'm looking straight on. I'm in it at an angle, let's just say, you know, 3-person wide, yes, you're gonna see it with my panel. The camera is picking it up. The camera right now is showing it at an, you know, an angle. It's right at the side of the monitor, facing left to take, you know, the picture. So let's see. Can we shoot? Look how clear that looks. Very nice. Now, right here where you see the guy right here, right there, this, you know, his neck area. What I'm looking is when I see the orange, the fire, it looks punchy, it looks nice, everything around it, very nice contrast. I like what I'm seeing. But when you look at him, his shoulder, the black area, and his neck area, it looks, I don't know if it looks dark on the picture, on the screen, on the camera, what the camera's picking up. I see it from here, I see it a little bit, not 100% dark. So, just so you know. Everything does look punchy. Again, okay, so here's the image. I tried to get it as close to the monitor as possible, not to show, you know, an image that's not, you know, true. This is as close as I can get it. Now, right here is a perfect example. You can see right here above his head, right here. You can see that that's not ultra black. That's not OLED black. Okay, you can see that. But when you're looking at the monitor with light around you, your eyes don't, you don't look, you don't know what the darkest dark is because there's so much light around you. So, I mean, all this looks punchy. All this looks really good. Again, we would get a way better contrast if this was maybe a VA panel or a, IPS, but local dimming. We have a way better close to OLED colors, or dark levels. But if this is not OLED, we're not going to get that awesome, dark colors. We're not the dark, brightness with the HDR. We're not going to get the best HDR. We're not going to do that. If this was OLED, and forget about the HDR 1000. If this was HDR, 400 with a OLED panel, it'll be amazing. But OLED can get, that high. That's why it would be good. I haven't seen a VA HDR image. It would be good to get a VA panel to try and compare what an IPS panel could do compared to a VA in HDR with HDR 400. I keep on saying I like my HDR 600. That looks really punchy. From right here, I can tell you right now, this looks on fire. It looks good. Nice and punchy. I like the dark everywhere. All the black areas look really good. No problems whatsoever. That blue looked really nice. The fire right here looks really nice. But again, the reason why I could see the neck and the gun, it's not 100%, what it's supposed to be. It's not going to give you that. If the contrast is not, OLED. So I don't know how other to explain it to you, but it's not OLED technology. So if you want HDR for color pop, color definition is my number one thing with HDR. Color definition. That's what you're getting with HDR.
Is this it says HDR, but let's see what happens here. HDR on, HDR mode auto. Okay, there we go. Yes, this is HDR. Reason how I can tell is the colors are popping and the contrast is better. It is dimmer, but it looks better. It's hard to say. Yeah, it looks really nice. Let's see how the pop's gonna look right here. Nice. What sticks out is this. This lava sticks out nicely. I'm telling you, I can only imagine what, you know, the better, you know, back panel lighting system would look like. Wow. Here we go. Let's see these guys right here. It's all about color definition. It's hard to explain, and I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's color definition with HDR. The brights, you know, pop. The contrast is there. The colors. It's the color definition. It's hard to explain, and I keep on saying it. It's color definition. That's what HDR is to me. And it does look better than SDR. I just prefer SDR in certain games. Now, certain games will do it better than others. That's just common sense. The programming has to be in it. Some games will not do HDR, but the ones that do it well, looks really nice. Yeah, look at that. Look at the fire looks really good. I don't know, HDR looks better with this toggle. I don't know. Something looks a lot better. Now the screen is, the camera is picking up some kind of bluish tint. I don't know if it's the bluish tint or something, but it's really, it's a warm, it looks like it's a warm picture right now, even though I have it on normal. Looks really nice. Whoa, look at him on fire. Ah. Everything looks punchy. The contrast is nice. I like the colors. That's for sure. The HDR is really good, you guys. Hurry up, get him. Showing what a better panel would look like, you know, with, you know, VA or a, you know, local dimming kind of a panel would bring this to a whole nother level. That's why, you know, that those new, you know, the Predators and the new ASUS, the ones that cost, you know, around 2,000, would make it look tremendous, of course. But that's, you know, 3 times the price of this guy, because the back panel is the most important thing in a monitor. Of course, the response time, but it's the back panel to give us that HDR. If you want HDR, if you want a game, 144 hertz is a must. 165 hertz, 200 hertz. You know, competitively and everything, but HDR is a whole nother section, and you want color accuracy and you want those colors to pop and to enjoy true HDR. This is HDR 400, bare minimum HDR. So if you're gonna ask, well, how's the HDR? Am I getting my money's worth? It's bare bones, you know, minimum specs of HDR. So that right there should answer your question. No, you're not gonna get what you're expecting. I think a lot of people are expecting way better HDR than what this panel can produce, and it's not so much because of all the technology in there, it's the back panel. That's the issue. Not the brightness, not the colors, everything is there. It's the back panel. You want OLED kind of style, you need a full, a full kind of panel. An IPS, even with their new edge top and bottom lighting system on this panel, I believe they have a lighting system where it's all the way on top and all in the bottom. Even with that though, we're still not going to get the kind of contrast that everyone is, I believe, expecting, even myself included. Because you know, when you buy something, you want it to be awesome. You want it to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best deal ever. Come on, guys. Every company is going to want, to make money. I think I saw someone say something about the Razer monitor, that this was gonna, this destroys the Razer monitor, $100, $100 more expensive, and it's not gonna get as bright as this or something like this. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Razer's gonna be a better monitor overall than this one. Why? Oh, they also said, I believe the software wasn't gonna be as good. I believe the software is gonna destroy the Aorus software. And again, you know me, I tell you how it is, I tell you like it is, I see what I see, and Aorus doesn't have good software. That's 100%. The graphics cards don't have good software, their motherboards don't have good software. This monitor's OSD freezes or it doesn't show it incorrectly. It's the software. Yes, they'll fix it in firmwares, fix it in updates, but my Aorus GPU, even with the newest firmware, still has problems. So, and it's been over 5 months. That answers my question. That answers your question all the time, where Aorus might have, bugs, more bugs than usual in other systems. My ASUS motherboard is mint. It's perfect. No problems whatsoever. So maybe I should get an ASUS monitor in the future, which I probably will. Okay, so this is another image, and I would say this is accurate with how the black levels are looking, the brightness highlights of the actual character. I would say it's come really, really close. I don't have the best camera, but as you can see, it is punchy. So let's see here. Yeah, this looks good. Super bright in there. Let's go. Man, this looks better than the demo. I played the demo, as you can see, but wow, this looks a lot better than the demo. I don't know, something is up. It's like a rhino, right? Boom. Nice. Oh, there's more room. Better do something, buddy. We're gonna eat rhino tonight. Yeah, it's nasty. Alright, see right away when you turn, bright highlight, boom. Nice. Alright. From here, that lava looks amazing. Looks amazing. It's more than anything, it's the lava, it's the reds. This monitor's reds. I'm in love with the reds and the oranges on this monitor, even the yellows. More than any other color. Those are the three colors that, man, makes this thing pop. Haven't really seen any green, or the blues do look nice, but I haven't seen anything really wow me just like the oranges do. And again, so if the blacks are not, to your liking, what you can do here, so you see everything is good, HDR is on, but when we go here to, we'll see I have it on 12 for color vibrancy. Where is it? The black equalizer. Now the higher you go, look at that, right here, look it up here. So if it's washed out, just go lower, lower,
this is the standard. You can go to 8, but it dims the picture too much and it crushes too much. Look at the bodysuit. So you see that's too much crush. That's a crush. That looks a lot better. Now this looks like it's too much. So I like this. That's too much. You could tell right here, it's crushing it. That looks great. That's a little bit overdone. So this is the best. 9, I think. So you can try that. Yeah, look how punchy that is. Really good. Yeah, maybe that's a better. Yeah, that red. Look at that, man. Wow. This is as best of a picture as I can get to accurately show you what I'm seeing. Recording this in 4K to try to get the clarity, but right here you can see the middle part right here. It's not ultra black, right? You could see, and I'm not talking about a crush or anything, but to compare this part to this part, it's not ultra, you know. We're not gonna get, and now it looks black because of the highlights and the brightness of the power of the monitor. But if you're looking for OLED, you're not gonna get it here. So please be aware of that, the difference between what OLED and what this IPS panel can actually give you. But to make your, image and contrast punchy, put some LEDs behind your monitor. I guarantee you it'll make a difference. Soon I'll test the hue lighting system. I want to get that. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But, put as much light as possible behind your monitor, especially on an IPS panel, and it will help definitely give you a better punch. This is how exactly the HDR image looks like. It's not picking up the sky for some reason, but it's to show you the brake lights, the color world. This looks nice, this transition right here. It's really bright, punchy, really nice. It's going to start raining right now, looks like. Look at that fog, looks nice. Now, if you're seeing, or if you think with your monitor that you're seeing that it's a washed out image or it's a bit washed or anything like that, you can try to fix it to get a little bit more contrast through the NVIDIA control panel. Just higher the contrast, lower the brightness. That could fix something, other than the monitor. Because you don't want to touch the H, and also you can also touch the HDR settings, but those are in-game presets. If you want to get a better image, or try at least to get a better image to fit your needs, with
if you want more brightness, or if you want, to be more contrasty, you can also just go through the NVIDIA control panel and fix it there. Now it'll fix it, for the menu, but in game it's going to vary because certain games have different presets. So it's a hit or miss right now. You're going to have to mess around with you're going to have to tweak your settings on a per game basis. Or if you could just change it in the control panel, if you're happy with it, then awesome. You can do that. But you can do that. Don't think you can't. If you feel like you need more contrast or something like that. I have this black equalizer at 9 instead of 10. 10 with HDR looks like it's just too washed out for me. So put it on 9. Don't put it on 8 because 8 will crush the contrast. It'll crush it. So keep it on a 9 is that decent, or leave it at 10 and then try to fix it through the NVIDIA control panel. You can try that. But again, it doesn't make sense for me to show you because I won't, whatever I'm seeing, it won't be one-to-one with what you're seeing. So it's better for you to, I would say try, lower the brightness, higher the contrast. With my Dell HGF, that's what I did. I did, plus 45, plus 55, plus 45 the brightness, plus 55 with the contrast. And, I added, I think, plus 5 to 55 for the vibrancy, digital vibrancy, to get some more color into the Dell. That's what I did with that. And I'm sure you could do the same thing with this guy. Let's see here. You can do the same thing to add more contrast if you need to, especially in HDR games. I'm telling you right now, I love the reds in this game. I love the reds in this monitor. The brake lights look so crisp. It looks crispy. It looks crisp, like glossy. That's the word. It looks like gloss, like glossy. Looks realistic. It looks good. I like how that looks. This monitor looks. Look at this. This is in the autumn setting. Look at the wow. Right, that looks nice. Here, let's go slow. Look at that. Those reds. If I would define what HDR and SDR would be, it kind of, HDR looks like someone drew the picture with, colored pencils with fine detail. And if someone drew SDR, it's like with a crayon, if that makes any sense. The SDR is powerhouse brightness, powerhouse color for sure. The contrast might be even better sometimes in SDR just because the overpowering brightness. But it's sloppy though, it's a bit sloppy. And it depends on the game. If the game doesn't do a good, doesn't process anything good, then that's just a game. Certain games are a lot better, I know, in HDR and SDR. And I'm telling you right now, with this Forza 4, the colors are defined, definitioned, really nice. It looks really good. With the brightness, I do think there's more pop to the SDR. The greens look better in SDR than in HDR. In this, the contrast to me is a bit better in SDR, but I believe it's because of the power of the light cannon shooting, making it look that way. But the colors, no doubt, 100% are more defined in HDR. That's for sure. And right now it's going to a dark setting, so we'll be able to test out the front headlights. That'd be cool. I was playing this game the other day trying to capture, video to show, and man, it took me like 3 hours just to get to nighttime setting. Just letting the car sit there and just waiting, and I was driving around too. But this time I just turned it on, and within 5 minutes I'm in the nighttime. Is anyone behind me? No. So this is a perfect image to show. Now remember, this is 120 Hertz. HDR works at 120 Hertz. Make sure you set it at 120 Hertz. When you're playing HDR And if you're getting black screens or whatever, make sure it's not at 144 hertz. Right now I have with Battlefield 5, I have a glitch where I believe, I don't know if it's the monitor, and I'm just letting you guys know, you know, we're talking, right? The monitor freezes at 48 hertz, and I believe G-Sync begins at 48 hertz, 48 to 144. So that's what makes me believe it's a G-Sync problem with Battlefield 5. I've never had any problems with any other game, just Battlefield 5 exiting. It freezes the computer, stops at 48 hertz because it shows it on the monitor. Right before I have to reset, like hard reset, I look at the monitor settings and it's 48 hertz. It's stuck at 48 hertz. So I believe something's going on with the G-Sync there. But that is only in Battlefield 5. That also is only when I have when I'm messing with the HDR on and off, like it just gets stuck or something. But every other game, if you have HDR on in Windows, you have your monitor at 120 hertz. When you start a game like, I don't know, Mass Effect, if it's in HDR, yes, it's gonna flicker because it's gonna try to figure out what's going on. It's gonna say, okay, well, do you want to play this in HDR or do you want to play this in SDR? And it'll flicker, common sense, right? Because it's gonna try to get to HDR. So it'll flicker, and that's normal. But when you exit the game and it's saved at, you know, HDR settings, then that's good. It's gonna save it at HDR settings, and when you begin the game again, it'll load it up in HDR settings. It's only that time when you're, you know, barely switching it on or exiting it with off, but your whole system is set up to HDR, you will see a flicker. So what I recommend is, if you're gonna play in HDR, leave it in HDR all the time. If you're gonna play the game, play it in HDR. You will get a flicker at the beginning because it's gonna try to transfer to HDR. So do that and you won't have a problem. It's when you unselect HDR, when you have an HDR, you know, inside Windows setup, it might not know what to do. So when you have HDR always. And the first time you set up the game, it will flicker because it's going to try to get to HDR. But once you have it set, you shouldn't have any more problems. And if you do have any problems, just leave a comment below, and if I have the game, I'll test it out for you. No, there's no problem. Just make sure your hertz are at 120 hertz. As you can see, this is G-Sync on right now. G-Sync compatibility, Freesync on, 120 hertz. But everything looks good. Again, what I'm seeing right now, the black levels, you know, in the trees need to be a bit better. And that's because of the panel. It's not the monitor's fault, it's the panel's fault, right? It's the kind of lighting system they used, and it would have been better if it was a falled system.